welcome to Library Line, your connection to the Conneaut community. I'm Kathy Pape, Executive Director of the library, and your host for this very special Library Line. We are in Monroe Township at a brand new company called Aloterra Energy. And you're probably wondering, Aloterra Energy, what's that? Right here in Monroe? Well, we had those questions too, and we are going to be spending the day with Courtney Spencer, and she is going to take us from the beginning to the end of this really cool and really innovative project going on that I know you will want more information. You know, we're always talking about, wouldn't it be great if there are new businesses, new opportunities, things that could be going on right here in Ashtabula County? This is one of them, folks, so you're going to want to stay tuned in because it's all about using the land that we have right here, and we have lots of it. It's about reusing some things, recycling, being kind to our earth, and finding new ways and new sources for energy. If all of that sounds enticing to you to learn more about, and even how you at home could possibly be a part of this really exciting opportunity and new way of thinking for many, 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 many years to come. I can't tell you how excited I am, but I really want to get started. So please stay tuned for a very special Aloterra Energy Library Line. I'm joined now by Courtney Spencer, and we're going to do Aloterra 101. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us here today.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you guys here.
You know, when I first heard about this, I thought, oh my gosh, this is groundbreaking. Will you please explain what Aloterra Energy is and just lead us through the whole entire process?
I'd be happy to. Aloterra Energy is currently working on a biomass project here in northeastern Ohio and northwestern Pennsylvania. Our project area spans out 50 miles from the harbor of Ashtabula County, so you can see all the area in green is where we're at. So we're in Erie, Crawford, and Mercer, Ashtabula and Trumbull, and Lake and Geauga counties.
Wow, that's a lot of area. Okay, now explain biomass. What are you talking about when you use that term?
A biomass is a type of grass that can be used for fuel purposes. And not only can we use this grass for fuel purposes, but with its very fibrous texture to it, we can use it for a lot of other things. We can make biodegradable vegetable trays out of it, drink containers for fast food restaurants. And these things could be made with just miscanthus and water and a little coloring if you wanted to add that. And then you could just put them out in your yard, in your garden or your flower bed, and they just fall apart.
Wow. So this miscanthus, did I say it right?
Yes.
And it's a clump grass. Mm-hmm. And tell me about the life cycle of that grass.
It's a warm season grass. It's a sterile grass. We're certified through the Ohio Seed Improvement Association and through the USDA that it's non-invasive. It can be killed with Roundup.
Okay.
If you, for some reason, you didn't want to farm miscanthus anymore. And what you would do is you would go in and you would dig up rhizomes, and rhizomes are the seed that it grows from. And then you would take those rhizomes and spread them out into a fully fitted field. And the first year you wouldn't get a harvest off from it the way that you would row crops, but in the second year you'd receive a half harvest, and then again in the third year you'd get close to your full harvest, and in year 4 is where you'd really start to see your big yields.
Wow.
So it takes a few years to mature, but it's a 20-year crop. It's literally good for 20 years.
Oh my gosh. And that's just such amazing. When I first heard about this, I thought, holy cow, this is going on in Monroe. I mean, to me, this is really going to change the way that we live and we work and just the way that we think about things and what we're typically used to. I mean, this is recycling, this is using the land and creating an energy source. How important is that?
It's extremely important, and this just, this small project, this 4,000 acres, is going to change the way that Ashtabula County lives and survives for the next 20 years at least.
Wow. Wow. And so if people want more information about Aloterra Energy, where can they go to get that?
By any means, they can stop out here in our office on Middle Road in Monroe Township, or they can go to our website, which is just www.aloterraenergy.com.
Wow. And we will, of course, provide all of that information at the library as well, because one of the things that we would like to have are some samples of the meniscus, right? And have that so people can actually see it, touch it, feel it, and know what it is.
We would love to drop some off.
Awesome. And then also the other part of this is you have area here that you're farming that hopefully we can take a look at some of these different fields and watch it go through the process, right?
Right. We'll stop in the greenhouse first and take a look at things there.
Okay.
Then we'll take you guys down to the tool shed and show you all of the equipment that's here currently.
Cool.
And then we'll go out to the field and check out how everything works out there.
Oh my gosh. Well, this will be a very exciting show, and I hope that we cover all of the bases. And like I said, folks, I mean, this is groundbreaking. And if you aren't getting all the information that you need, we'll keep showing that website so you can, because this is something everybody can be involved with, and certainly something to be excited about for Asheville County.
It's very exciting.
Wow. All right. We have a lot to get to, so let's get going. Okay, so now we are in a very large greenhouse. This is pretty incredible, Courtney. What do we have here?
This is our propagation testing from our Kansas fields.
Okay.
Every one of these sections has a number on it, and then these numbers are attached to the wagon numbers, so I can tell you how well different sections of the field grow.
So this all came from Kansas?
Yes, these were all sent in overnighted refrigerated packages.
Wow, and because of the way that they're numbered, you know where it was in that field, so you can do research here to see what's working and what isn't working.
Exactly, and this tells me
Oh.
that the whole field has been really good and that we're going to have really good propagation on everything we put in this year.
That's wonderful. Now, these are pretty tall. About how old are these plants?
These plants are about 2.5 months old.
Oh, wow.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, and these are the plumes here at the top. I don't know if we can...
Yes, and those were actually a little accident. The greenhouse lost heat one night due to a power outage, and so it got too cold, and so with the shortness of the days, the plants were thinking that it was fall, and so they plumed.
Oh.
So because we are kind of growing them in here the wrong type of year. So
Yeah, you're tricking them a little bit.
just a little bit.
Wow. Okay, that's really interesting. And so these are all in little tiny pots, but you also have some really big pots up here. Now, these aren't from Kansas, are they?
No, those are actually left over. Last year we had this whole greenhouse was completely full of rhizomes.
Oh my gosh.
We thought that we were going to have to turn them into plugs to plant our fields with the way we had the first year, and then we realized we didn't need them. So those pots were actually saved from over the winter, and they looked just like these ones did. And then about 6 weeks ago, we brought them into the greenhouse and put those in those big pots that we can take them places and show them off when we go to conferences and things like that.
Yeah, that's a really, really good idea because, I mean, so many people really, and that's why we're here. We may drive by a field and see this and think, wow, there's nothing going on out there. Too bad all that grass is planted and there isn't, something being, utilized there. But we're mistaken, Gosh, it's really super cool. So you've got one out here. Why don't we take a look at this?
Right. What I'm going to show you here is this shows you the inside, and this is the rhizome. This is how the plant grows. This is what we harvest and we dig those out.
Okay.
And when I put this into this pot, it was just one tiny little rhizome. And you can see how many it's created.
That
So
is
it grows very
incredible. Wow. And what a root structure there. My goodness sakes.
They're very strong, extremely hardy. And what we'd do is we'd go into a field, and then when we'd harvest this, we'd chop up all these roots, and then we can spread them back out and grow a whole field of Miscanthus.
Now, you can get a whole field, but how much? What is this going to plant if we took this?
Well, this won't plant very much. I mean, this might plant an area as big as
Okay.
this canvas is. But when we load them with great big, huge export bags, go into the planters, and so there's a lot of rhizomes in there.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm really antsy to go out and see some of the big equipment that you've been talking about. So can we go and take a look at that?
Let's go.
All right, thanks. Okay, we have moved into a very large garage. I know it's a barn, but it's like the world's largest garage because it holds the world's largest equipment. Courtney, these things are amazing.
Thank you. We're very proud of them. Everyone has its own job, and each one has its own designation of what we use it for.
Okay, tell us, just show us around. Tell us everything about this because we've already looked at the plants, and so everything that's planted, it needs to be planted, it needs to be harvested, and that's where all of this comes in, right?
Right. This is where all of this equipment comes in. This is one of our biggest tractors. We actually have two of these. They're
Do you name
identical
them?
twins. No, this one doesn't have a name, but we do have a Kubota truck, and her name is Kitty.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So this is a 335 case. It is 350 horsepower.
Wow.
So it's complete with its own buddy seat, and I believe this one actually has a heated seat in it.
Oh, really? My car doesn't even have a heated seat. How about that?
Meant to have a lot of time spent in them.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I mean, the size of the tires, I mean, it's just incredible. It's an impressive piece of machinery, and it looks fairly new.
Actually, this one here we purchased used, and the one that's exactly like it we purchased used. We have purchased a lot of used equipment, and all of our equipment has been purchased within our 50-mile radius of our project area. Just about 95% of it. A few pieces were from our Kansas area farm, and then we brought them up here.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you're purchasing your things locally. I mean, that really adds a lot to this whole project, this whole business that you do, is that everything's right here in Monroe, in Conneaut.
Exactly.
That's all right.
We're trying to put as much money back into the area as we can.
Wow. And that's just fabulous. It's fabulous for everyone from this area. Wait a second. What's this green monster over here?
And this is a grain drill, and right now it's folded up. It opens up. I believe this one is 30 feet, and we use this if we fit any fields in the fall, which we planned on doing last year, but we didn't get to because of the weather.
Mm-hmm.
We have to go in and put a cover crop over the field to hold the soil until winter,
Oh.
especially on hilly areas and things like that. So in the fall, we would plant cereal rye, and then in the spring, we would plant oats.
Oh, okay.
And this year, we do actually have some hills, and we're going to use this piece of equipment to put some oats on.
Oh, very interesting. So you fit the field using this.
No, we plant a cover crop using
A
this.
cover crop using this. Okay. Okay. I'm learning today.
He's disking the field, and this is probably the second pass on this field. This is one of our smaller cases, and we have two of these as well. And this is our smaller disc. And so, and what this does, they disc after they plow, and they just go through, and it chops up the plowed clods and helps get the field smoothed out for planting.
Oh, okay.
And you can see on this, these ones have the cup discs on them versus the one we were looking at in the tool shed was straight. And what this does is it's a heavier cutting machine, and it rolls it over real good. And then those little fingers on the back help smooth it out real nice. And he'll go over the field like a total of 2 times. Sometimes he'll go over 3 times depending on how many clods are left in the field. And then after this, we'd come back in with that real disc finisher that we saw in the tool shed and hit it again.
Now, how big of an area is he working right now?
I think that's an 18-foot disc.
Okay.
This is our smaller disc we have
And that is
too.
smaller. Okay. About how long will it take him to do this then?
Oh, I don't know. I'd say he'll be here another 5 hours or so.
Okay. And then you said that will they leave this tractor here then, or will he come back with that?
Well, since today we're so early in the day, he'll probably move on to the next field. But whatever field we end up after dark, we generally leave the tractor there.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, does he have a radio in there?
There's a radio in there, and most of our tractors all have weather radios. So he gets his front 2 tires right there in the deck row, and then drives down the field, and that rolls all of the sod over and brings the fresh dirt up and turns the grass over.
It's not a very smooth ride, is it?
No, it's not a very
Ooh, look
smooth
at
ride
that.
at all.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And see, if he was doing this regularly, like he'd do a pass like somewhere here and then go up the other side. And this eliminates that drive time.
Oh, there it goes. He takes off. That's pretty fast.
Every bag has a barcode on it, and the bags have already been weighed. So we know by the barcode, we can scan the barcodes with our phones. We know by the barcode how much every bag weighs. So what they'll do,
Wait.
okay, the planters are weight sensitive, and so every bag has a barcode on the bag, and we can scan the barcodes with our cell phones, and then we know how much the bag weighs, and then the tractor driver puts that into his computer, and then that lets him know, it sets the planter to put down a certain amount of rhizomes per acre. Ahead, and it pushes the rhizomes up to the front, and so it keeps an equal flow going, and the whole bottom of the bed is weight sensitive to the bags, and so it only pushes as much as it needs forward at a time. So after the rhizomes come forward, they fall down these chutes and into the trench, and then these blades cover them back up the ground.
No.
Well, that wraps up another library line, a very special library line. I am so excited about all of the exciting things happening here in Conneaut, and especially out in Monroe with Aloterra Energy. I hope you learned a lot about what is going on out here and maybe how you could be involved. I want to make sure that everybody gets that information, and we'll be flashing it across the screen for you too. But here is everything that you need to do. Plus, you can Google it. That's what I did to be able to get a whole handout of information, everything that you need to know about Aloterra Energy. How exciting, happening right here in Monroe, right here in Ashtabula County. So, hey, plus don't forget, just stop in the library too, because we have all the information on this if you don't feel like Googling it yourself. We've already done the work for you. So until next time, we will see you on Library Line.